Alright, hopefully you're here to build a wolf. Tools you'll need: a screwdriver, preferably motorized because there's a lot of screws here. Some way of dealing with 3/8 nuts, 2 of them at a time. A piece of string. If you're building the bee car, you will need a dart, something pointy that's less than 3 millimeters, and something poundy to tap them in. Let's get started. We're going to build the plunger with plunger extension, main plunger, the washer that came with your kit, the 9-inch 1032 threaded rod, and a couple of nuts. Order of assembly: the plunger extension, washer in between, and then the rest of the plunger. Trap the whole thing with these nylock nuts on either side. The objective is to keep this side, or the back end, flush as possible. Any excess rod that you might have can go out the front without any issues. Alright, that plunger is assembled. Next up, we'll do the catch and rear assembly. Catch plate: the smoother this side is, the better your experience will be with your trigger. Get it nice and polished as best you can. Put our 20 millimeter pin into the hole. That doesn't hold anything, it just acts as a rubbing surface. The spring goes in here, and this whole thing kind of gets captured by that wedge at the top. The butt plate goes on the 6 screws. That's the back. That should be nice and captured. Figure out why later. Next up is the thumb hole trigger grip assembly. We're going to put a drop of super glue on the trigger guard. Shove it in. Slot first. There. Trigger goes together with 2 screws. The smoother the sides and this little ramp are, the better your trigger will be. The blocky end goes into the grip. It's screwed front and back. And then there's a hole for the trigger spring here. And it interacts with this groove inside the grip. Just kind of set this aside carefully for next steps. Next up, we're going to start prepping the backside to build from. You'll need the centerpiece, the rear pick rail, and the feed ramp. Feed ramp goes in, screws up. The pick rail comes in here at the top. I'll get you later. It's held in. You can get 3 screws in the pick rail from the opposite side. And we can screw the pick rail in, or the feed ramp in. then let's assemble the rest of it just sitting here. Nice and flat. Yeah, that's that side. We'll move on next. Next up, we'll get the bolt assembled. You'll need plunger tube, pusher, large O-ring, pusher O-ring, over here, your plunger, the TPU pad that got sent with your kit, and some screws. Step one, plunger tube goes into the bolt down just past this window. There we go. Once it stops, you'll probably be left with some plunger tube left over. Cut that off. The knife. I'll get it close, but I can't, my processes won't let me get it exactly right. Maybe use a sharper knife than this. There we go. And make sure that inside chamfer is nice and smooth. It'll make getting O-rings past it easier. That looks good. Yeah, if it feels like it's going to try to come out, put a little bit of super glue in here in this window to kind of see it, set it into place. If you need a new plunger tube, there'll be some available on the site. Next up, lube inside the plunger tube. O-ring, or let's do the pusher first. Pusher goes on, or the TP pad goes in those three little holes you see. So if you can get them lined up. There we go. That makes your blaster dry fire safe. Get a little bit of lube on an O-ring, which I still have on my fingers. Shove it into the bolt. Should go in with a little bit of force. Pull it out. There's a key. There's like one bumpy side of the pusher. It should be basically anywhere. Look at that. We've got plenty of lube now. Get it flush with the front. And then there's 3 screws at angles around the outside edge. Wipe that down a little bit. A little lube out and everything. Put an O-ring on your plunger. Make sure it fits nicely. Nice. You see if it's primed right there. And pusher on the pusher gets an O-ring. A little bit of lube on that. And that's the bolt assembly done. Let's start laying in parts. You're going to take your mag release, your remaining gray spring, and compress it down pretty far into a little hole here. There we go. Check for function. There we go. Works. Lay in the bolt. Take our trigger mechanism and grip. You lay down a little bit of lube in this little rail here, just to make the trigger a little bit nicer. Lay it straight in. There. And this little piece fits up here at the front. One of the sides is a little wider. The wider side goes towards the side you're facing right now. Trigger looks like it's okay. Bolt moves freely. That's this side done. Now we can button it up. Assemble all the other side parts. Smash that thing together. Oh. This little pick rail will want to be captured up front here if you're going to use it. It gets captured in the rail, so put that in there when you're doing the side. And then a shit ton of screws. This is why you have a power screwdriver. It's because I learned every possible bad habit from silly butts. I guess while we're here, we should probably talk about the importance of mental health in your life. Finding time for yourself, knowing where your problems are, and knowing that you, while you may feel it some days, are not broken just because you have ADHD or you have trouble keeping up with the world. You are not broken. The world is just absurd. And all we can do is make the best of what we've got. So take the time to do what's fun, what makes you happy, like building Nerf blasters. Even if they happen to have an unlimited number of little tiny screws. I've been reading Albert Camus lately and learning about the legend of Sisyphus. And while Sisyphus may have been tasked with rolling a rock up a hill for the remainder of existence every day, only to have it roll back down, does not mean that Sisyphus needed to accept that as a punishment. Sisyphus can find happiness in the tedious tasks of his day-to-day life, and that is how he rebels against the absurdity of life. While we're still at this angle, let's assemble a magazine real quick. You need a magazine body and a drum spring. Drum spring goes through the slot on the side. Drum spring goes through the slot on the side. Seats down there. And run a string through it. Both ends down the magazine body. Pull so you get the loop. Take your follower, which you've knocked the support out of. Put the loop in that little slot and let it go. Back comes on. Just like push and click. That's a magazine. You've got the V-car. Best build method is you take a dart, push it in to get the right depth, take your bearings, make sure they match the orientation of the little dents right there. Drop it in the slot. Use your sharp thing to stab it. 25mm pin gets tapped into place. Do that 9 times. That's the last 2 extra pieces from this angle. We'll do the last build assembly next. Final assembly time. Take your spring, drop it down the hole, take your spring guide, drop in some spring spacers because we love the FPS. Put that in with the fatter side towards the top. It only keys one way. Take your cheek rest, push it in part way. Now we can take our stock rear, put it in the correct direction, pop that into place. Just pop right in. Push the cheek rest in the rest of the way. That's when you're pulling out the spring, just reverse that procedure. Pull it out most of the way, pop it back, pull out the rest of the way, and the spring go. We need a bolt handle, which takes 2 screws, 1 on each side. Need a barrel. Throw that in. Should see very obviously. Take your barrel nut, bring it down and twist it. Now you should be unable to remove your barrel because one starts to go where we coin them. And magazine to hold your darts. 113 pins. That's it. That looks like a completed blaster to me. Not bad for $30 and a half hour of work.